As you mentioned, my mother had Alzheimer's disease. It totally devastated me to watch the disease destroy the mind of a woman who had counseled eminent leaders like the late Dr. Martin Luther King. My greatest fear is that Alzheimer's disease has already started to eat away at my brain too.
I was losing things. I couldn't remember things. I was having trouble with that, long-term memory.
It is a public health crisis.
Can you tell me her name?
So first with my father, it was like, okay, one parent, we can manage this. When it hit my mother, it was I literally broke down. I was like, I don't want to deal with it.
And there are times when I'll say things to my mother that I regret because she is my mother. And I'll talk to her mean, and then I feel bad because I know she doesn't mean it. And so Imani's seen it. So now I feel like I have validated disrespect to my parents from my daughter.
Because it's not his fault, it's dementia. So it's it's a heavy lift. Yeah, it's a heavy lift.
Kenny, where's my shirt? Oh, it's in the closet. Kenny, where's my shirt? Daddy's in the closet. And I'd hear him coming down, boom, 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 and I knew he was gonna ask the same question. And came over to me while I was at the sink, put out his hand, both his hands, and he said, what do I do with this? And in his hand was his feces.
This is such a terrible disease. We know that if we don't get an answer, it's going to cripple the back of the healthcare system.
30% of global dementia could be prevented by practicing lifestyle changes.
High blood pressure, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, stroke occur in African Americans and Hispanics disproportionately. So we believe that those things do impact the prevalence of Alzheimer's.
Well, we already know that walking, physical activity, social engagement, memory work, all of that is good for brain health.
So there is research in Alzheimer's going on at Emory, at Georgia State, at Georgia Tech, at Morehouse.
If some communities are not represented, we're not even going to have the chance to understand how the disease manifests itself in African Americans, for instance, versus white, versus Hispanics and others.
You can only give back to a community if you understand that community, and if you're listening to their concerns and their community identified priorities.
So the church has been sort of a bedrock of particularly the African American community in the United States, for more than 100 years.
The Divine Nine, those are the African American sororities and fraternities. Just about every single one of them has a health platform.
You build on history and we all stand on shoulders of others.
In close to 30 years as a broadcast journalist, I've probably told thousands of stories. But over all those years and in all those stories, no story seems more urgent, more timely, more important than this one.